Teresa, when you guys all first get to the Hamptons, why did you feel the need to go in so hard on Margaret about her Mother's Day brunch?
Margaret, thank you for not inviting me. I hold grudges. Yeah. Let's just leave it at that. I do.
Well, I mean, I just think she's very funny. Like, she will do anything to twist the story. I was like, hello, did you forget, like, I'm the injured party?
Oh my God!
And she comes in mad at me. I mean, typical Teresa.
Teresa, you were going in hard on Margaret because Margaret was going in hard on you, trying to get you to not be friends with Danielle.
It's either her or me.
You really gonna give me that choice?
Yes, she's evil.
And what Margaret didn't understand is that she can't get you to not be friends with Danielle. If you don't want to be friends with Danielle, you have to not want to be friends with Danielle. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, exactly.
That's why I feel that Teresa's going in on Margaret, because Margaret's like, how can you be her friend? And Teresa's like, she's my friend,
and
let it go.
And she hasn't done any, like,
yeah, she hasn't done anything.
She finds out
nice
her
to
own,
you.
then she'll do it.
Right, I mean, until she
don't have
does
to
something
say.
to me, I'm not gonna take what you're saying, you know, whatever you're saying, I'm not gonna not be her friend because of what you're telling me. Like,
right.
I go based on how she treats me and how our friendship is.
Again, injured party, she comes in. I brought her a goodie bag. Like, I even felt so guilty about the Mother's Day brunch. I, like, made sure there was a sweatshirt made for her. I bring all this stuff. I don't want your goodie bag.
I don't want a f***ing goodie bag.
She, like, throws it. You didn't invite me to the brunch. Like, twist the story to come in like, you know, somebody did something wrong to her. But, you know, I was still going in with it like, all right.
With the gift bag.
With the gift bag.
Melissa, when Margaret met Teresa, you say she was namaste Teresa.
Okay, raise your arms up.
But let's be real. 0 to 10 is the real Teresa. And this is Margaret's first rodeo with that. Good luck, girlfriend.
Can you describe the difference between namaste Teresa and present day Teresa?
I mean, Namaste Teresa was very much so present for that first year when Teresa came home from prison, because she was doing a lot of yoga, she was training for yoga, she had a very different mindset, which is understandable. I mean, within a year she was bodybuilding and lifting, so the yoga thing went away very quickly. You know, I wanted Margaret to know that she's meeting a little bit of a softer side of Teresa, which makes sense because she's been through a lot and she just came out of a prison and she's ready to, like, chill. But I knew that, you know, the tougher Teresa was gonna come out eventually.
You know, I think I met Teresa in a very vulnerable time. Her mother had just passed away.
Mommy, I love you more than life. I miss you so much. I can't believe you're not here anymore with me.
She was only out of jail a year. And, you know, I was very sensitive to everything she was going through. I think she's had a lot of very hard knocks since then with Joe, you know, the deportation, a lot of things happening. And I think she's gotten a little hard again, a little tough, like a little tougher exterior, and not as sensitive and empathetic as she was when I first met her. And, you know, just even with the video with Jackie.
Teresa said, make fun of Jackie, and Jennifer goes in.
Imitate Jackie. No! Define stalker.
Like, I defended her, Jackie. I was like, that's not the Teresa I know. She used to come back to that a little bit, and I think she was associating also with people who weren't always the best influence on her. I understand. She wants to let loose, have a good time, and be with the party girls, which I totally get. But sometimes she was around people who got in her head who weren't the best influence on her, and I think that affected her.
Jackie, before the brunch, you called Teresa and inadvertently ended up spilling that she wasn't invited. How did that happen? How did
It was
you feel?
such an awkward conversation. Like, I didn't realize that she was with Dolores when I called her, but they were getting, like, manicures or pedicures or something. We were like, yeah, I'll see you later. And then it was like, Teresa was like, why?
Yes, of course. I was going to tell you tomorrow, Dolores.
Oh, what are you guys doing?
I was like, I didn't even realize that she knew ahead of time. I had no idea I didn't know that even happened till this second.
I don't even think I said it was a Mother's Day brunch, though. I think I was like, oh, we're going to have lunch together with Margaret. Yeah.
I think Margaret was getting a few people together with Margaret.
I guess not me, bitch.
Oh, I feel bad.
No, it's okay.
Teresa and I were finally in a good place, and, like, I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news, like, you shoot the messenger. So I felt bad. But I understood why Margaret, you know, didn't have her there.
Yeah, it
But I
wasn't
felt
like a you, you're not invited. It was like, we haven't spoken. You know, it has to be a conversation. This isn't going to be like you're coming to the brunch, we're smoothing it over and forget it ever happened.
Right.
That, you know, we couldn't have something like that.
Melissa, were you surprised to find out that Teresa wasn't invited to the brunch?
I was in shock at first. I just figured, because I know that we all kind of invite everyone to everything. But then when Margaret explained to me, it kind of made sense.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
she didn't talk to me at Melissa's fashion show.
Right.
You know, after the hair pull, she texted me like kissy faces, hi honey. Not like, you know, there was no makeup at that point, which I felt bad about. But I was like, I'm the injured party. At least come over at the fashion show and have a conversation with me. You left with Danielle and backed her up. So when she didn't talk to me at Melissa's fashion show, the last thing I wanted to do was exclude Teresa from that brunch. I had very bad mixed guilt feelings about it because, you know, her mother's not here. Right. You know, because it was such a great day. So I really had a stomachache about it, but we weren't even talking at that time. And then I was like, ugh. So it was a weird thing.
How did it feel to watch your mother lie to Gabby about what she knows about your brother's sexuality?
I wasn't shocked. You know, it's something that my mom has struggled with.
Steve is gay.
Who told you that? I didn't know that.
This is the first time ever that any of us have pushed my mother to face it, like head on. So I wasn't surprised at all.
And you hear your mother say that your brother's sexuality is a sickness. How did that make you feel to hear her say that?
She said that? Oh, I don't remember that.
I'm not ashamed of my child. No way. It's not his fault.
But if you have a sick child, you're gonna throw them out?
But of course, this is not a sickness. If anything, you know, that's just how they thought, and it doesn't make it right. But I understand the mentality. Like, they came up in a generation where that was sacrilegious, very taboo, and for me to now change the narrative, it's just gonna take her some time, you know, it's baby steps. I mean, I wish she was more open about it because I try to do a different style of parenting with my kids. I try to be open and honest with them, and I feel like, you know, kids are resilient and they can handle a lot more than what we think they can. But I wasn't surprised.
Jackie, at the Mother's Day brunch, you tell a story about a boyfriend got you an engagement ring and your mother buying it back. So can you explain how your mom bought it from your boyfriend and like where the ring is now?
Yeah, so I felt really bad because I knew he was in love with me and I knew that I was not in love with him. So I was working at a law firm at the time, and I guess that he had set up this elaborate like proposal plan. He was gonna come into my workplace and go up to the partner's office, and the partner was going to call me, tell me that he needed me upstairs for an assignment, and I was going to come up and he was going to be on bended knee to propose to me. So the senior associate was like, hey, look, like, I know you've been messing around with another guy at the law firm, so I don't know if you're going to want to get engaged.
Somebody I don't know that you're going to want to be engaged.
So I was like, oh my God, is he really going to do this? Now, at this point, this kid, he did not have any money. He had like tons of legal bills and he worked his ass off. He was brilliant, a great guy. I was just not in love with him anymore. And I knew that if he spent any money on a diamond ring, it took all of his money, all of it. And like the thought of that broke my heart. So I know that once you leave the store with a diamond ring, it loses like a lot of its value. Yeah. So I called my mom and I said, listen, I need you to do me a favor. And she does have the money to do it. So I felt bad, but I also knew it's something I would do for my child. And I said, he's gonna propose to me. I'm gonna tell him that I found out and that I'm not ready yet, but that I will be ready in a few months, and that I need you to buy the ring from him at the price he paid for it, and that when we're ready, he'll buy it back from you at that same exact price, but here's the catch, I'm never gonna be ready.
Right.
So I don't know how long you're gonna be hanging on to that ring. So that all happened. Then over the years, she like a few times was like, oh, can I turn the ring into like earrings for like my brother's wife? Or like, can I give it to this and that? And I never wanted to see it on anyone. Like I thought it would be bad karma. And I still think it's sitting in her safe.
Come on.
I do, yeah. A really long time later. I was 23, so 20 years later.
All right, I think it's time that she could give it to the brother's wife.
Maybe. It's a diamond, I'll take it.
What happened to the guy?
He's happily married with 2 kids, but he will not be my friend on Facebook.
Oh, he won't?
He hates me now. He hates me.
And Margaret, we hear you talk about how Marge Sr. was more of a friend than a mother when you were younger. How was that growing up?
I mean, growing up, I didn't realize it was so strange till I got into therapy. But
And you were like, oh, this is strange.
and then I was like, wow, this was f***ed up, raised by wolves. But, you know, Marcy and I are only 20 years apart. You know, I grew up with like a single mother. I'm like 6, she's 26. You know, her judgment was like, she was kooky. She was definitely kooky. You know, she had crazy parties. I'd be up all night at her parties. You know, she didn't really know, like, probably what to do with a kid, so she would just schlep me on her dates. If she got a fur coat, the boyfriend would have to buy me a fur coat. You know, I'd be out at restaurants till midnight. But I thought that was all normal. Like, there was the famous story when I was in kindergarten that I was so proud to talk about my breakfast, and it was Oreo cookies and coffee. I mean, I'm drinking coffee since the age of 5. I mean, something was very bizarre. The teacher was appalled, but then Rudolph, who was behind me, had hot dogs. So I was
all
off the hook.
good,
It was
yeah.
all good. I didn't realize how crazy it was till I got older.
And you do mention that her drinking when you were young is why you don't drink much now.
Yes,
How
that and migraines, but definitely that's a big thing.
So my mother, she's drinking and cocktail, but I'm like 6 years old. And then she almost falls over the balcony. P.S. I'm traumatized.
I was a nervous wreck because no one wants to see your mother drunk. And, you know, she was a party girl. And, you know, if she was drinking, she was, you know, she was sloppy. Sorry, Marge Sr. I'm sure you're going to be watching this. But I'd be anxious, like something was wrong with her. When you see your mother drunk, you're nervous. So I was like, oh my God, don't fall. So it gave me horrible anxiety. And I was like, I'm never going to be that way. I'm never going to be drunk. I'm never going to slur my words. I'm never going to be out of control. It was a very nerve-wracking experience. I mean, to this day, I'm the alcohol police with her. I'm like, 2 drinks only. Do not have a drink. I mean, for years, she really didn't drink. When I had a baby, I was like, you will never be around my child and drink. You will never drink at an event. You know, it caused me a lot of anxiety. I don't like a sloppy drunk. I like a fun drunk. I don't like a belligerent drunk, and I don't like a sloppy drunk. And my friends are none of the above, so it's great.